joining me. We have a really great recipe for a Swiss meringue buttercream that's on the website at sweetwise.com. But I have people ask me all the time about the basic American buttercream. So I'm going to show you that recipe today. And I'm going to use high ratio shortening in it. And the reason I like to do that, it really makes a difference in the American buttercream as far as the smoothness of it and its durability. So it's really important that you have a good shortening in there. And that's kind of a thing about the American buttercream is it uses a shortening instead of the actual butter and then just adds butter flavor. But what that does for us is it really adds a lot of stability to the buttercream and allows us to do things like pipe with definition, that sort of thing, and it just stands up really well. So that's why we do that. Okay, so I'm going to start, I just have a stand mixer here, and I'm going to start with some of my denser ingredients and add my sugar last. So I have 1 cup of high ratio shortening here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that into the mixing bowl. Okay, and then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of meringue powder. This is the SweetWise meringue powder, and what that does is it kind of add an element of crusting to the buttercream. It's one thing we do like about the American buttercream is that it crusts over, so we can actually do a little bit more of smoothing techniques to it. So that actually kind of elevates that characteristic of it. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract and 1 teaspoon of butter flavoring. And I'm going to have a 1/4 cup of milk that I'm going to add in here as well. I always like to keep a little extra milk on hand just so I can adjust my consistency later on if I need to. So I'm just going to put my paddle attachment on here. Don't use your whip attachment. You don't want to add too much air into the buttercream. You just want to kind of combine it slowly. So I'm just going to start it out on low, and then I'm going to scrape it down once it gets combined. I always start this on low because I don't want all this liquid splashing out. So that takes about a minute and a half to combine. Just take your time with it, be patient with it. I know it's a liquid trying to combine with that fat, so you want to start it on low and just kind of build it up. Now we're going to add our powdered sugar. I've got 2 pounds of powdered sugar. I've actually already sifted most of it, but I wanted to show you this really cool sifter we just got. This is stainless steel, it's not aluminum. It's really heavy duty, and I like that it has these 4 prongs on here, and you can hear how tight it is to the screen, so it really pushes through your product and makes it very finely sifted. I think it's really important to sift your powdered sugar before you use it in the American buttercream. So I'm just going to go ahead and it works really quickly. I'm trying not to make a mess here because I'm using kind of a small bowl, but it works really quickly getting all that through there. All right, now 2 pounds of powdered sugar. It's just going to go into, not all at once. You just want to add like maybe start out with like a 1/4 cup or so and let it combine. And you're going to still keep this on fairly low speed. You don't want to let it fly where it whips really hard and incorporates too much air. If you add too much air into it, it's really hard to smooth later on. So I just stop my paddle in between my additions of powdered sugar just so it doesn't fly back in my face. So I'm going to add maybe like a 1/2 cup or so now. Combine it again on low. Up on 2. Okay, I'm going to add about a cup in here now. Once you've got a couple additions, you can add a little bit more at a time. Adding this just in little parts at a time really helps it keep from getting lumpy. You'll just have a nice smooth buttercream when you're done. Okay, another cup of powdered sugar in here. As it's getting thicker that I've increased the speed one more notch. That's because it's offering more resistance now and the mixer needs a little bit more power. All right, so for my last addition, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the powdered sugar here. Everything I've got in there. And like I said, I keep a little bit of extra milk on hand. If this gets a little bit thick, I can drizzle a little bit in and adjust my consistency that way. Okay, you can hear the resistance it's offering now. I'm going to turn it up one more notch, but not on a really high speed. I really don't want to incorporate air into this. So for me, this is a little bit thick, so I'm just going to drizzle, like, I don't know, half a teaspoon at a time of milk in here, just until it creates a little bit more of a creamy texture that I like. Probably added a total of 3/4 of a teaspoon from what I originally had in my recipe. So what I'm going to do now is I feel like it's mostly combined, so I'm going to take this down from the stand and I'm going to scrape my sides down. This is really important to do to make sure that it's fully incorporated. And I really love using my bowl scraper for this because I can really get every little nook and cranny, especially in the bowl. And then it's really handy also just when you're ready to take it out of the bowl. So as I'm doing this, you'll notice it has a little bit of an ivory texture to it because I use pure vanilla extract. The project I'm going to be using this on, I'm not really worried about the color because I'm adding color into it. But if you need a really white buttercream, you'll probably want to opt for a clear vanilla extract instead of the pure vanilla extract so that it doesn't add that little bit of an ivory tone to it. So I got it all off my beater there, and now I'm just going to scrape down the sides of my bowl. And you can see how well this bowl scraper works for this. It gets every little piece of that in there. And I'm just going to pull up from the bottom up to the top. Okay. And then I'm just going to put it in my paddle, in the mixer with the paddle one more time, just to make sure it's all completely smooth. Okay, so just on low again, and then we'll move up a couple of notches. And now I feel like it's really fully incorporated. Again, if you're using it for a softer project, you can add a little bit more milk to make it a little bit of softer buttercream. If you needed a good stiff buttercream, leave it like this, don't add so much milk. But you do want to make sure that it combines well, that it moves well, that you don't have any lumps in it. Just mix it on low to medium speed until that's fully incorporated and smooth, but not on high to whip air into it. And that's a good crusting buttercream. It's just a basic American buttercream. The meringue powder adds to that crusting characteristic of it. So you'll find this recipe on the SweetWise website. Just go to the home page, click on recipes, and scroll down to American Buttercream, and you'll find it there. Give it a try. It's really easy. Have fun with it. Thanks for watching.